Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com, and it's Thursday night, November the 3rd. These are the charts of the day. Another big day on Wall Street today. Lots of stocks that we follow had big days, but the biggest of all, MDVN, based on very positive drug news, exploded, closing yesterday in a 16.5 range, and today opening at 36.72. Now, early on, we said wait for a pullback under 35. We got to 34.31. And then it started to move back up and accelerated into the 40 plus range, which was our target, before backing off to 39.75. Still up 23.22 or 140% on a whopping 14.3 million. That's historical for that. Now, if you step back and look at the weekly chart on MDVN, you'll see that back in the end of 2010, the stock, well, in 2009 and 10, the stock had run up from the 10-11 range all the way up to the 40 range. So big negative drug news in the early part of 2010 crushed the stock, and it eventually worked its way down into the high single digits, down around 8.5. Came back from that area up into the mid 20s before rolling over in the pullback this last summer. If you look on the daily chart, you'll see it from the wedge, and today obviously one of the biggest days in the history of the company. But more importantly, it's up in this right near the all-time high, and it is an all-time closing high. With that kind of strength and that kind of move and that kind of close in particular, I'm of the opinion we're going to see the stock in the mid to high 40s, if not low to mid 50s, over the course of the next few weeks. So it could be a very nice swing trade here, and I'm not sure we're going to get much of a pullback. But if it does, it could be a great setup for higher levels. Keep an eye on this one. DEXO. Today, popped across its, up to, I should say, its major declining top line right here, which puts it at a point where, and by the way, near lateral price resistance at these lows and this high. But today's action exploded it through the 50 and closed near the upper end of the range. I'm looking for a potential test and take out of the 155.60 range short term. If that does occur, we could see the stock up towards the 2.25 range, maybe 2.5. So watch for a double in this stock over the course of the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks perhaps. But it very well may also back and fill in this area based on the fact that there's declining tops line and lateral price resistance here. Another big day for Orbitz Worldwide, OWW, which exploded from the $1.95 area all the way up to 278 and closed just 3 cents off the high. So another stock closing at the highs for the day or near it and taking out lateral price resistance in this zone right here. Now, if you look at the declining top line on this one also, we're right up against that as well. But with this kind of a close, I expect some kind of follow through and perhaps get this stock into the 3.5 to 3.75 range near these highs up here to test this zone of resistance up against those tops in there. That's my target. Big day today for Mercado Libre, opening at 76.92 and getting up to 85.58 before closing at 83.04. But that was a huge gap up, 31% today, $19.62 on 5.1 million. Biggest volume we've seen in years. And that broke out of this bottoming pattern, which we had shown you. This V bottom, run up to resistance and pull back. And then the breakout here was this historic one. Right up against the July high. It did back off a little bit, but with that kind of a close as well, we are looking to look for a test of the all-time highs in the 90, 93 range over the course of the next couple of weeks potentially. What I want to tell you in addition to all of this is that I'm seeing so many stocks doing this that it looks like more the beginning of an intermediate move than the end of a short-term move, and it could be a short-term move that does pull back, and we're kind of expecting that, but I'm still looking for many of these stocks to make higher highs. Another example, Sonosite, explosive move up 917 to 30% or 1.75 million shares today. That was a big move that took out this double top and also actually took out that top as well, but and closed a nickel off the high. So another spectacular move. If you look at the all-time chart, you'll see that there is resistance up in the zone at this double top from 0809. So we may see some resistance up in this area. But it could be an area from which a major move is launched. if we draw lines off the bottoms here for potentially a long-term move target, we're looking at something up around the at least 48 range. So let's first see if we can get to resistance at today's high around 40 and take out the 06 highs around 42.5. Then our target's 48. Biomed, another stock with a terrific day today. Multiple highs up in this zone. So in a key area for it in terms of resistance. But should it get up through this 1920 zone, I would expect the stock to be in the mid-20s before too long. So keep a close eye on Biomed. This is a very strong move on the daily chart. This basing pattern was exploded through. We had a 3-day pullback. And today, an explosive move of 326 or 22.5% on the best volume we've seen in about 3 months. So look, short term, we could pull back and consolidate, but a stock to keep on your watch list. ANIK Therapeutics, another junior biotech with a big day today, jumped to $1.29 at 21%. Volume was about 300,000 shares. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the biggest volume we've seen since May. There is a resistance zone in here. $8 short-term resistance may be tough to get through. Love to see it back and fill a consolidate here. But my next target's up around 9.5, 10 zone. Alpha Natural Resources, which is a swing trade of ours, and reached our target here. Pulled back for a couple days after we reached our target, but has snapped back sharply right up to that resistance level again. Should we break out, I would expect a quick test of the $30 range, which is our top of this channel. Maybe can accelerate up to test 34.5 range, secondary target. VRX, another biotech with strong news today, and a pop of 510 or 13% on 7.6 million shares, 7.7 million. There's resistance at the September high up around 46. I expect that to be tested short term. Should that be taken out, my secondary target's 50, up near this gap right here. Big day for Tesla as well. After basing out and breaking out here at the beginning of October, it platformed, broke out and pulled back for a couple of days and spiked up 375. In particular, the end of the day was very strong. You can see it closed within 3 cents of its high for the day. It's a spectacular close and good, nice performance on 2.5 million shares for Tesla. And the major pattern shows that some key resistance up in the zone here is being tested as we at the close today. And next target would be this spike high in November, December of 2010, around 36. That's my next target. Nice move today for OCZ, jumping 70 cents, breaking out of this little flag that I had drawn in. You can see the head and shoulders pattern that was exploded through, the pullback retest, and now move. It tells me we can see 9 or even 10, possibly 10.5 if this move continues momentum. We've had a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the 5th wave. Just depends how far we go in this 5th wave. FTNT, nice follow-through day. The recent action which showed the breakout and the pullback. Yesterday was an update. Today it jumped 204, almost 9%. More than 5 million traded. And it looks to me like we're headed for a test of this $28 range. That's my short-term target. FAST. Well, if you remember back in September, we had a swing trade here that worked for a couple of days, but then it came down hard and broke support and took out our stops. Only to recover, retest, and then explode in the last couple of weeks from 32 to 40. Today up $1.87 or 5%, closing at over 40, 40.13. Excuse me, just 7 cents off the high. So momentum is strong in this one. And despite the fact that we are near that high, we've taken this out, and we may see a move towards the top of the long-term channel, which tells us there's a possibility this stock is as high as 49 or 50 over the course of the intermediate term. I'll set a short-term target, though, at 44, 45. Big day for VRSK. On top of yesterday's pop, today it popped another $1.62 or 4.5%. Another stock closing near the high for the day. And with the channel developing the way this one is, I would expect to move up to test the top of that channel around 39.5, 40 short term. And lastly today is GNRC, which I highlighted a couple times in the last week or so. It popped out a week ago, settled in for a day. In the last 4 sessions has moved steadily higher with another 81 cents or 3.4% today. But nevertheless, new all-time highs. As you can see, stock's only been public since middle of last year. So, but strong move here. We may be overbought short term, but we can see some momentum that carries us into the high 20s before it's over. And that's it. Have a good week. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bye-bye.